welcome everyone to the Donovan Live Postgame Show right here on WKYC's Facebook Live with Jimmy Donovan. I'm Dave DiNatale. Did you enjoy meeting Quilber? That's the. I don't know if I can ask any more important question than that. Quilber the porcupine.
I certainly I enjoyed meeting him. Now smelling him is a completely different story. Wow, what a strong aroma.
Yes.
Huh?
I mean, I saw you. That's like the biggest porcupine I've ever seen. You know, and I'm sitting there going.
I have never seen one up close.
Yeah, I've only seen one like at a zoo,
yeah.
And they never seemed like they were that big. And all I could think of was Johnny Carson. I mean, this is what Johnny Carson must have went through. You know, when he had the San Diego Zoo stop by, you know, like once a month, or David Letterman for stupid pet tricks.
Well, you always talk about, when you talk about Johnny Carson, you're always talking about Johnny Carson was known for being an amazing talent,
yes,
and having a lot of vacation time.
Yes.
So, for instance, I would think after a segment with the porcupine, Johnny would take a month off. So,
yeah. No, this is going to be Jimmy's last of the week, maybe longer. All right. So it is Thanksgiving tomorrow, and what happens at the Donovan farm, to take us behind the curtain a little bit? And
it is a farm.
It is a farm.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yes.
It is a farm. We host. My wife's family comes over, and we have we have some friends over too,
yeah.
And we have my wife's a phenomenal cook.
Yeah.
My wife Cheryl is just a phenomenal cook, and she puts out a great spread. Now I have to tell you, as soon as I finish here,
yes,
because I've been telling you, hey, can we get this?
We gotta go. We gotta go.
Because I will go and assist her all night long
in the preparation.
Yes, she's a big prep person. For instance, when I got home from the Browns game on Sunday against Jacksonville. There it is. That's what I did. No, I took this video of this family, this ordinary American family. When I got home from the game on Sunday, though, the Thanksgiving table was completely set and with all decorations.
Already?
Yeah, and she was ready there. So
wow.
Throughout the week, this is not just wake up Thursday morning and go, oh my goodness, it's Thanksgiving. I mean, we're ready to go. So,
by the way, if you're wondering what we were talking about to start the show, this is a picture of Quilber the porcupine.
Wow.
That stopped by. And the zoo is open tomorrow, by the way.
10 to 5. And it's free.
And it's free.
Yeah.
And you can meet Quilber the porcupine.
Yeah.
Hold your nose.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he'll be outside, so
he'll
be okay.
He'll be okay.
But in the confines of the Channel 3 studio, wow.
Yeah.
That was the most painful show physically that I have ever done. Back when I grew up, and you grew up here.
Yeah.
Okay, but back where I grew up in Boston, on Thanksgiving, it was tradition statewide that on Thanksgiving morning in high school football, you played your rival.
Wow.
Thanksgiving morning.
Okay.
Now, the game may kick off at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, no later than that.
Right.
But you would play your arch rival on Thanksgiving morning, and that would be typically your last game of the regular season. And if you won and you were playoff bound, then so be it. But you played whoever your arch rival was
on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving morning.
Now, were any of those games like at bigger venues, or you just played wherever?
No, typically no. You would play. You would play at either home and away at your own stadium, but no. But now they do play. For instance, they call it the Super Bowl back there.
Yes.
In Boston, maybe because they're always in professionally, they're in the Super Bowl. So their high school championship game, and believe me, it is not as detailed or as tournament-like as we have it here. Really, high school football, a little bit different back there. But they play what they call Super Bowl, and it's usually by a selection committee and polling points and things like that. But they do play all the games, I believe, at Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Couple Browns things I want to ask you here before we get out of here for Thanksgiving. First thing first, Josh Gordon was on the field in practice today. Our Matt Florjancic just came right back, and I asked him, I said, well, how did he look? How did Gordon look today? And he just said, like he's still the best receiver on the team. I mean, it's amazing. He's still a tremendous physical specimen.
Well, he's even a better physical specimen than the last time that he was here. The last time he was here, I have to be honest with you, he was, I thought, a little out of shape. And as the preseason wore on that year, and he played through to the fourth game, because remember, he was still suspended at that point. He couldn't play in the regular season games. But anyway, I thought he was out of shape and a little heavier.
Yeah.
But I know he's been working diligently, physically, and of course emotionally.
Yeah.
But he is in phenomenal shape. I have never seen him in as good a shape as he was in today when I saw him. But I am like Matt. I fall into that. I fall into that category and that fan club of saying, "Gee whiz, that guy is amazing out there on the playing field." So it's Matt, me, and definitely Hugh Jackson, who is just he's drooling, and it's not over Thanksgiving dinner.
No.
He is saying, "Oh, I can't wait to get this guy." And, of course, that we'll have to wait another week before they get him. He can't play against the Bengals. He would be eligible to play next week in L.A. against the Chargers.
I loved Hugh Jackson when they asked him, today, well, Hugh, you worked Josh Gordon out with the ones. He goes, yeah, you bet I did. I needed something to be happy about.
Yeah. Hugh has been very wide open now.
Yes, I think
wide
so, too.
open. Well, I think that, he is... he's not ducking it. I mean, he's certainly not proud of it, but he's telling you how he really feels. I mean, the other day he went, my God, I had no idea. I had no thoughts that we would be 1-25.
Right.
1-25, he goes. I mean, that's unbelievable. I never thought I would be a head coach of a football team and I would be responsible for a 1-25 record. And let's face it, a lot of coaches wouldn't be around at 1-25.
No. And it's going to be this last month is going to be so intriguing to see, if they can reverse things a little bit and start getting some wins, and how that's going to play out in the decision making of who stays and who goes going forward.
Well, unfortunately, too, what isn't going their way now, aside from the losses, is that they are starting to get hit with injuries.
Yes.
Okay, so Jamie Meter now, the pride of Valley Forge High School, he's gone for the remainder of the year with an ankle injury, high ankle sprain. Emmanuel Agba is gone for the year. He broke his foot last Sunday, and that was a big loss. And they're starting to add up now.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's it. Nothing was good about the losing.
Right.
But there were points in the season where if they had a week off or a guy would only be out a week. Right. And Jabril Peppers did not practice today with an ankle. So you wonder about that. But if you add the overall feeling out there and the way it's going and the 0-10, and then you throw in injuries and players not going to come back, boy, I mean, that's a free fall.
That's tough. You don't have Collins. You don't have Agba. Right. I mean, those are two important starters. And then Meter, who's an important, may as well be a starter because he plays so much.
Yeah, he does.
It starts to add up. Now, last point about the Browns. This was brought up today in our newsroom, and I think it was also brought up today on one of the morning radio shows here in town. This idea now, and it comes as we're getting ready to be with family for Thanksgiving and be with family for Christmas and for the holidays, this trying to recapture, if you're the Browns, this lost generation of fans, this young, and I'm talking about millennials, maybe even younger, that have no recollection whatsoever of the Browns being relevant, the Browns being good, and trying to get that young fan back invested in Browns football. That is because there's so many other distractions. There's fantasy football. People are, they want to root for winners. They want to root for the Steelers. That's going to be a challenge for the Browns to as they try to rebuild this thing. They better figure out how to captivate the fan and the young fan and make them stay a fan for generations, because it's a new world and it's a different world than the one we grew up in.
It's a lost nation
right
now. It really is. It's a lost nation. If you went around town right now you asked people, who's your favorite Browns player, I think they would be hard-pressed to come up with a name that they could say, I've really attached my heart to that particular player. The best evidence to me of how lost the fan is in Cleveland, and the specific age group that you're talking about is very, very accurate. I mean, kids that are growing up have never seen a winning team here, okay? And they've never seen, certain players or any kind of group of players stay together for a period of time that would be any longer than maybe 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Okay. When I'm driving down on the morning of a game, and suddenly you get to 9th Street and you're coming down that hill and fans are, streaming down the hill, I always look at the jerseys that they're wearing, and it is a lost nation, because even if they have Browns jerseys on, Very rarely do they have the jersey of a current player.
Yes.
You'll see Cribbs. You'll see Peyton Hillis.
Yes.
You'll see
Couch.
Kellen Winslow, Tim
Couch.
Couch. You'll see Brady Quinn. You'll see, you'll see a mishmash of players that players' jerseys and the number that they wore here as a Brown, with a fan walking down there, and I say, but that guy's been gone for 5 or 6 years. That really tells you that there's a disconnect right now. And it's because they can't grab onto a player. Now, can we grab onto Myles Garrett? I don't know yet.
Right.
I really don't know yet. It tells you he's the #1 overall pick in the draft. We certainly hope so, and they certainly hope that you do. But I understand he's only played in 4 games right now, and so how do you grab onto that? Can we grab onto Deshaun Kaiser yet? No, the problem is the other team is grabbing onto passes he's throwing. He's got 14 interceptions, So I get it. There has to be, really, a savior come in here.
Right.
And it probably is going to start in the hierarchy.
Right.
Now, you're not going to buy his jersey, but I mean, that guy, whoever he is going to come in and try and establish an organization that then is going to get players that are going to be here, want to be here, and then connect with the fans. So right now, other than Joe Thomas, who does anyone connect with? And again, I mean, that's a reach for a great player, but even Joe would tell you, I'm a left tackle.
Right, Joe. I always tell you, Joe's a Hall of Famer, but he's not a superstar. And there's a difference. So, the superstar is the person you literally grab onto, you latch onto, and he's the guy.
Yeah.
For me growing up, it was Bernie Kosar and that group of late '80s Browns.
Yeah.
If you grew up, I was born in '74. Let's say you were born in '69. Then when you were 10 years old, that was Brian Sipe and the Cardiac Kids.
Yep.
And it goes further back and further back. And there's nothing like that here.
Yeah, well, and the other thing I remember is when I first got here, everybody had Browns jerseys. Now I got here in '85, so everybody had Browns jerseys, Browns hooded sweatshirts, the old starter Browns jacket, whatever the new winter cap was, it was a Brown stuff. Then the Indians got hot in the mid-'90s when Jacobs Field opened up, and then everybody, remember, those Indian stores were all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
All kinds
Every
of malls.
mall had one.
And you would have lines out the door around Christmas time, people buying Indians jersey, Tomey, Alomar, Vizquel, Lofton. I mean, a bevy of stars, but they had hooded sweatshirts, and whenever the Indians would go into the postseason, a new jacket.
Yeah.
I remember their new fall jacket would come
absolutely.
out, and everybody would go buy the jacket, for Christmas. Then that kind of died down a little bit, and then of course Enter LeBron. Everyone wants a 23 jersey. Then Kyrie, and then they get all reunited again. Then everyone has the Cavs. Now, when I see people with Browns gear now, it's old.
Yeah.
It's really old, and I know it's old because I'm down there and I see the latest Pro Shop stuff, and and that is, people buy gear of winners.
Right. I mean, I'll take you through my jersey collection. They're all old school. I have an Eric Metcalf jersey. I have a Bo Jackson football and baseball jersey, and that's it. I mean, it's hard to latch on. That's the David. You're scrolling to the one I have, an Eric Metcalf 21 jersey. Yeah, that's in my closet. Yeah, I've got one of those because I loved watching him play.
Well, I loved watching him run.
Yeah.
He had a running style. He'd get his legs up so high. His knees would be way up. It was amazing.
Yeah.
He almost stepped over tacklers. As well as run by them because he had amazing speed.
And do you
remember the day against Pittsburgh? And boy, the late Nev Chandler had 2 classic calls when he returned the two punts in the game. And Bill Cowher was early on in his Steelers head coaching days and could not beat the Browns.
Nope.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't it amazing to hear that? It's true.
Yes, Aunt Hazel. There was a time when Bill Cowher and the Steelers couldn't beat the Browns, okay? And it looks as though they're going to win. It was a 4 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Beautiful
fall day.
Yeah.
Love that day.
And, I mean, Metcalf hit one early, and then the Steelers are still kind of hanging on. Then he hit one late, and it was over. And he walked out of here, got on the bus on the turnpike, another loser.
And went back. And I almost feel the Browns went to the playoffs the following year, and then in '95 was the year they moved. Now, I always felt like that was one of the last great moments of that era
That's
for
a
the
good point.
Browns.
And I would give you one more, and then I think it ended. Okay,
Yes.
then the curtain came down. I think the next great moment and the last great moment of a Browns game at Old Municipal Stadium was when Belichick's Browns beat the Patriots in the
Yes.
playoff
Yep.
game, and it was Drew Bledsoe. Bill Parcells
Yep.
was the head coach of the Patriots, and the Browns played an amazing defensive game that day and won the ball game. They picked Bledsoe off a couple of times in the game, won the game only to go and lose for the third time that year to the Steelers.
Yes. Because
They could not beat the Steelers.
Cowher then figured out how to beat
Yes,
the Browns.
Ed Hazel. It ended.
It ended.
And Cowher started to beat them.
Yes. Oh, all right. On that note, everybody, have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy football tomorrow. Enjoy Cincinnati on Sunday.
Well, and enjoy Ohio State and Michigan.
Ohio State, Michigan on Saturday.
Right?
Yeah. Now, so you're not going to be able to watch the game.
Well, we are because we leave at 2. So
perfect.
Yeah, but on the plane we do get
You
TV.
get TV.
Yeah, we get
Excellent.
TV.
So that'll be nice. Because my man, like me, he loves college football.
And hates to fly. I hate to fly.
Have a happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving,
You
my
too,
friend.
Dino, and you out there, everybody, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you back here next week. Until then, for Jimmy Donovan, I'm Dave DiNatale. Thanks for watching the Donovan Live Postgame Show here on WKYC's Facebook Live.